parenting is not something that you hurry into. Otherwise, you'll be creating a generation of unprepared people.
Yeah, welcome on Nabo TV Live. My name is Chidi Pictures. Sometimes we have to sit our elders. In the past, in the evening like this, we have to tell the way they'll tell you stories of what happened in the past, and from there we begin to learn. But now that we have technology, we do it electronically, so that you can learn more about what it takes to be a human being. So with me in the studio to discuss about parenting, yes, next parent, of course. Of course, we have and of course we have our regular guest, Augustine Omilo. Let me ask from you, the ladies first. But when we're going to the farm, okay, ladies used to be at the front too. Our father will go with the mate from behind.
To secure the woman.
To secure the woman. But when race starts, when something Gaza, you might go running, leave the woman. So, what does it take to be a parent?
Parenting takes a lot, both emotionally, psychologically, financially, morally, to be a parent. Because right as it is, you are taking care of somebody else. So all that will make that person a better person has to come from you, the parents. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Between man and the woman, who plays more responsible role in parenting?
Both man and woman, husband and wife,
women, no.
Father and man.
They say that women are then the kind of thing. Say the man will go work, the woman will just stay for house, do everything.
The two nine they do.
The man only provides school fees. Only I'm feeling money.
The two nine they do. Now understanding. There's a corporation I write still the full pot. As they agree. Some parents or husband and wife agree, so okay, you be paying the school fees, me house rent. Now agreement now.
Because housewives,
it still boils down to taking care of the children or the family, whichever way they choose to do it, so long as it is geared towards the growth and betterment of the family.
Men will don't suffer well.
Yes.
The responsibility is too much on us.
Women they suffer too now.
What does it take to be a father?
No, first of all, you have to be a satisfied parent.
Satisfied.
You have to be satisfied.
What does it take to be satisfied parent?
Yes, for you to be satisfied, parenting is not something that you hurry into. Otherwise, you'll be creating a generation of unprepared people. For example, now, for you to be a parent, you have to be married. Now, if you are married, then you start working on how to breed children. And when you are breeding children, already in your mind, you must be prepared to, because go into the world and multiply. It doesn't end there. Subdue follows. And also you build. Yes. So now when you bring the children, in your mind, you must have at the back of your mind that you have a responsibility to cater for that person you are bringing into the world. And therefore, right from the time the child cries, you are responsible because the boy didn't or the girl didn't invite you. You brought him. Yes. So you must do everything possible to ensure that this child either grows to become better than you or at least like you. So it's a responsibility. Now, from there, you now begin to plan to ensure that you don't bring more than you can cater for. Because at a point, you can be likened to somebody who is a guilty pronounced by himself or himself. Because if you bring people that you cannot cater for, you are creating problem for the society and you're also creating problem for yourself. So to begin with, you have to be satisfied. And when you're satisfied, you have to also be planning to also make sure that your certificate doesn't get expired with you. So by bringing up the children that you can cater for.
Now in the home, who was the responsibility more of parenting? The father or the mother?
No, I don't want to No, I don't want to go contrary to what Victoria would not like to hear. Yes. You see, the onus is on the man. Because both the wife and the children are the children of the man. Because see, if there's a problem in the house now, and the man is coming, there's that kind of aura that that is coming.
Yeah, it is coming.
That is coming. And if people are harassing your children, including your wife in the compound, and when you are coming, that aura that the man is coming now. Let me. So it is the man, because even if the man is not even providing the money, or maybe within them, just like she said, maybe within them, they know that the man is paying rent, the woman, the woman is providing food and all that. But generally speaking, the man takes a responsibility, because that is why if you see single parenting now, people who are given to a parenting, if a man brings up a child, there will be a shortfall. If the woman brings up a child alone, there's also a shortfall. But if there are two of them, with the man commanding, you see a balanced upbringing of children.
But Uncle Milo, in the past, parenting happened to be differ from what we have now.
Yes.
What could be the reason?
Yes, the reason is that a lot of persons are not taking advantage of the generation we are now. They are not taking advantage of it in the sense that you see, when we were growing up, really, you didn't have opportunity to, communicate with your elder brother who is in London, America, Lagos, and other places, except you wrote letters that took years, months or weeks to arrive. Now, today, we have opportunity to discuss with our parents, our brothers and our sisters, just within seconds through technology. Now, people are not taking advantage of this technology in that respect, but they are taking advantage of the poor side of it. That is where, for instance, now you see people circulating fake news. So the young people now, because their parents are not computer literate in the first place, because you can't give what you don't have. So that technology education from the home is not given to the children by the parents. So they learn it from people who may be wrong in their attitude towards technology education. And therefore, when you see a child now starting his life with a pornography because he has a phone, unlike somebody who perhaps is computer literate and knows that there are some areas that children don't go to, and he knows how to do them, he knows how to do it, and say, okay, my child, see, have your email, because people may be writing you. Have your WhatsApp number, people may be sending you messages and all that. But be careful, because you'll be able to explain it in a manner that the child will understand. But when you are not computer literate yourself, you can't limit the level your child can go. So the parents of today, some of them don't take advantage of what technology is providing, and therefore they cannot transfer any new thing to their children except the mundane one, which the children of today are not ready to accept.
Let me ask you a question. Where you have caregiving for children, it happens that what you have before is different from what you have now. What could be the problem? What you have now, is it more better than what you have before?
I want to say it's multidimensional, because in the past, most women don't work. They don't go to work. Most women are not educated. Once you attain the age of 16 or so, you are married off. Then, when the highest they do is to maybe have a petty shop in front of their house, and you are at home 24 hours. When the children goes to school, they leave you in the house. When they come, you are the first to receive them. The men only go to work. But these days, what do you find? You find educated mothers who goes to work, the man goes to work, the woman goes to work, and who takes care of the child? So they have to employ the services of a caregiver who will serve as a nanny in the house to take care of the children. So that's it. So, and in taking care of the children, a lot from the nanny is imbibed into the child. A lot. If the nanny is not schooled to, is an illiterate, the local woman and all, she sells that thing to the child in his upbringing.
There's sometimes before the parent discovers it,
it's late.
Have gone wayward.
Yes.
The child gone wayward.
Yes.
Because of the first person to say is nanny. So
it's
what do you think should be done?
So,
as of parenting in this regard.
The way it is now, I want to. I would say it is too late already, because every mother or every parent now wants his or her child to be schooled, to be educated. There's no girl child now that you keep in the house and say, okay, wait until when you want to. I will not train you, because by 16 you'll be married off, which used to be the practice then. Everybody now, in short, the most educated child today is the girl child. The attention people give to the girl child is even more than what they give to the
Don't you think that lack of attention and care from the parents, because of the parents' work, could also be a contributing factor on why we are breeding corrupt children?
And not really, just like Mr. Milo said, that one is one of the points. But this communication gadget that we have now is one of the tools, one of the weapons of destruction why the children are the way they are today. Because when this gadget came, it was not passed to the parents first. So it's okay, parents, you are the one, the first beneficiary of this equipment will be you. Let the parent get grasp of what this instrument is all about before now generalizing it to everybody. But it didn't go that way. It just came and pew into the system, and everybody was just in short, the least people to receive it even is the parents.
But
And when they want to receive it, it is the palasa that does not have anything that they give to parents.
but beyond the telecommunication, the modern mothers, their roles seem to be they seem to see the role of our mothers have been a cake and obsolete.
Because of this same thing too now.
And
It
when
is
they go about taking care of their children at home.
yes, it
differ
is
from, because nowadays we don't have pampers.
nowadays we have pampers now.
We don't have napkins again. They don't wash.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing I've been talking about. Generational millennium lifestyle. Nobody want to do napkin. And you find out too in the system too. Where are the companies that produces napkin?
Now the new baby now they will now bring the breast and put it in a bottle and keep it in advance.
A day-old baby drinks milk now. There's milk month 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't really bother about the breast milk again. It's true.
And some women, some young girls don't bother about breastfeeding.
They don't because
They don't want their listen to fall.
and not that they don't want stress. They don't want stress.
I don't know. Some don't want you to. Some don't know.
No, apart from falling, in the first few weeks of childbirth or a month, let me say, the breast milk does not come out as it's supposed to be, and it is stressful on both the baby and the mother. Both of them trying to adjust, cope, and all. So when a girl child that just had a baby, you see her, she will just say, "I'm not fit." In short, when nurses or doctor is in, they will just say, "Go buy milk," because the baby will be crying of hunger. Then the mother breast milk not coming out. So it's a dilemma. You see all the things that are making parenting difficult. So by the time in the hospital, the child started taking milk. So what do you think will make the mother, when she is at home, will now bring milk, breast for baby to suck, when easily she can do milk and give to the baby?
Uncle Robert, don't you think it's a financial pressure on the man, where the parents, the mother don't care about giving milk, giving breast is all about milk. They don't care about using napkin. They don't use pampers.
Napkin is old school.
What makes it old school?
Because of the stress. The generational millennial does not want all those things. I'm telling you, they don't need it.
No. You see, it can be, but the man can avoid it.
Okay.
Yes, because you see, in a family, you draw a roadmap for yourself.
Okay.
What you can afford and what you cannot afford. But two of you have to agree with it. And therefore, even if you say you cannot afford it, don't inflict harm or suffering on your wife because of what you cannot afford. Because if you say you cannot afford what do you call it? Pampers. You say you prefer napkin. Be ready to also help your wife to wash
it.
Yes. So if you have agreed, there's nothing wrong in that as far as I'm concerned. Yes, but if I tell you my story, because this issue of whether milk or this and that, we used to have like in those days and all those kind of yeah. When I had my first baby, within the first 1 month, my wife said, "Okay, we should teach this boy how to eat." Now she will
the first 1 month.
Yes, she will put hand in the soup like this
and rub
the mouth. So within a very short period, in fact, I don't think my boy actually used baby food up to like 2 months. So we were in Ibadan that time, and my landlord and his children, they used to mock us. They say, "Oh boy, my boy was very strong." They say, "Look at them." Yes, So it depends. So if you organize yourself in a manner that because you don't have money, it doesn't mean you should not provide the necessary. But if you don't, make sure that you also get that which a child will also eat and get well. You know, so it's a family decision, honestly.
Now, I have a problem, and the problem I have is issue of nanny in parenting, the role of the nanny.
Yes.
Sometimes it's very, very the demerit is more overwhelming.
Yeah.
How do you subscribe to that when young mothers, because they have just one only,
Yes.
they prefer nanny.
Yes.
And they will have nanny until last child.
Yes.
It's like 20 years old.
Yes.
They have nanny.
Yes. Where I have issue with that is where you want to have nanny that you want to use like a slave.
Okay.
In my own case, growing up, I told my wife I don't want any nanny. If you have anybody from your family that we can take as our child, go bring. And over time, she was not able to get one until we relocated from Ibadan to Lagos. And her younger sister, the youngest of the family, you know, agreed to be with us. And till today, people think that child was my first child. They think it's my daughter because of the way we brought her up. Because when she came, you know, there was an arrangement to send her to a public school while my first son was going to a private school. I said, how can it be? How will it be that your sister will take my son to a private school? Then she will now from there go to a public school. It can't happen. I said, take her, all of them will be in that private school. And that was how I brought her up. So for me, there's nothing wrong there. But if you have somebody that you want to bring to serve you as a nanny, quote and unquote now, also be ready to train that person like your own child. So that at the fullness of time, he or she can become somebody that will say, yes, of a truth, I grew up in this home and I was like this. In my university education, this man paid. My primary education, he paid. So don't just a nanny. If for a few days or a few years he will be with you, you cannot afford it. But make sure that you train that child like your own child.
I have a problem with this man.
Okay.
The issue is, unlike our mothers, do young mothers actually nanny?
Yes, they do.
Why?
They do very well. Why? The nanny aspect of it, is it not taking care of the child, making sure the home is okay, the food is ready, the child is well taken. Yes, now food is part of everybody in the home.
Okay.
Because it's not only man, woman, you have dependents staying with you, you know. So it's all about the total well-being.
But sometimes nannyship also
family.
have negative effect on the parenting. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it depends on who they brought. You know, for example, in my own case, as a young girl, I started grooming other young girls. As a young girl, that I'm able to take care of myself and I had enough, maybe to throw away and all. I look for young girls and they stay with me. Instead of throwing away that food, they eat the food. So by the time I got married, I didn't even have need of a nanny because I already have girls staying with me as my friends, my children. They are married today. So when my children were coming up, they too were already grown. Like I picked a girl that was 9 years when I was a spinster. She started staying with me. As she was 12, I picked another one that was 7 years. They are all married as I'm talking to you today. My own daughter is married too. You see, so they all grew up together. In that, as my daughter was small, they were there to give me water, press the baby, give me this, wash this, clean here, go to market, do all those things. And in the midst of all that, I was schooling. So maybe mothers of now should
I have a problem with modern parenting where
Mm.
the child wants biscuits given to him, the child wants iPhone is given to him, the child wants aircraft, they buy it for him.
Because modern mothers were exposed to all those things to when they were growing up. Yes, the modern mother, the millennium mothers, they have that thing. The phone, noodles, you want sharp, quick things, quick, nah. I will tell them it doesn't work like that. They say, no, mommy, now you won't be that. This is how we want it. So modern parenting is, but they are succeeding with it. I don't know how they do it. They are succeeding with it.
So, Omilo, do you think it's necessary to provide a
They are
child
succeeding with it.
with everything that you want without minding what it costs?
No, it's
There's
not
nobody who
possible.
can afford to
It's not
provide a child
possible.
with everything he needs or she needs.
It's
not
not
possible.
No.
But to some extent, if you have what it takes to bring a child properly, then you should be able to define what that child needs. And those are the things you should.
What are the proper ways to bring a child?
The proper ways, you know, if you are bringing a child because you're a man or you're a father, you should know and understand what it takes to become somebody in life. And therefore, you know, one of the basic things, you should ensure that your child gets the right education. If
I'm coming to that question, Mr. Milo, because I know that some of the parents now believe that taking the child to church 24 hours is the best way to bring the child up. I mean, I'm talking about education.
yes, I'm talking
What
about
do you think that taking the child to church 24 hours is not the best way to bring the child up?
if you take a child to school, if you train a child properly, the child will suggest to you that he wants to go to church. It's not you. You don't force anybody to go to church because there are some things there are some things you learn in school. For example, now there's Bible knowledge in school and all that. If a child understands that this is where to go, he will ask you that he will ask of you to take him there. You know, but if you take a child to the church and he gets to the church and he learns everything about the church and he doesn't know anything about proper education, you have got it wrong.
Between church and school, who do I better to bring a child?
Like my personal opinion, though, I believe there must be a balance. There has to be a balance.
Okay.
Church is good, school is equally good. They play complementary roles. So you just have a way to balance it. When it's time to go to church, you go to church. Time to go to school, you go to school.
Yeah, that is what you can take on Noble TV Live. We have had it talk from our parents on how to be a good parent. It's not enough to bring a child to the world, but you have to be a certified mother.
Father.
I like that language for me.
Certified.
A certified mother and a certified father. To be a parent.
Yes.
You know. Please make sure you provide what you can be able to provide. Don't be pressure. My name is Chidi Peters, and of course, we think so are our own parents talking to us. Just don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and play the video button to get more details and more, you know, updates on WTV Live. Bye bye for now.